many reasons, you know what I'm saying?
Go like and subscribe. Welcome back, YouTube, with Many Reasons here at the #1 world podcast with your host, Kaylin.
Sean.
Cam here. We got some new guests for y'all today. Well, one has already been on the podcast, but we got a new lady, but we're going to let them introduce themselves, all right?
Hello, I'm Jessica. Where's my God?
Hi there, I'm CJ. You might remember me from, 280 views ago. You know what I'm saying? Unlike some other guests that have been on the pod who couldn't get there. You know what I'm saying? Not throwing no shade.
He just talking. So YouTube, right now, YouTube, we have mock-ups for you to be able to purchase and buy. So right now we have, and I quote, Men of Region shirts. They come in black and white. Says the quotes for what we stand for, and they have the microphone on the front. They come in black and white. Then we also have 2-piece suits coming out. They come in gray, black, and white. We're still kind of waiting on those to be, created and everything. So give us a second. I promise you, but they're gonna be fire. You're gonna love it.
Yep.
All right, then. So we got a special topic for y'all today. But
I was cut off, Justin. You gotta bring my head back down.
I was going to ask you when
but
you
we're gonna let our boy
friend.
Sean take it from here. All right, Sean, let's go.
Yo, what's up with the YouTube? So today, the topic of discussion is all competition good? So whoever wants to start it out, I just want to know y'all thoughts, and we'll.
No, go ahead, take the floor, G. Go ahead.
So, for me, no.
Sponsor.
Okay.
No, not all competition, because some people can get real psychotic with it.
Okay.
And take it to the extreme that it doesn't need to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there's competition, which I think is healthy and good, is like competing against yourself, trying to beat yourself, make yourself better in that regard.
Right.
And then there's other types of competition, whereas, well, I gotta put myself out there. So I'm a competitive person, right? I don't like losing at all. I'm a little sore loser. Not even gonna lie, I get mad. That's why, never mind. I ain't gonna do myself too bad. But if I'm playing a game and I lose, I'm not gonna lie, I'm prone to rage quit and even gonna hold you. So my competitive nature in that aspect is not healthy, because I don't like it. So that's my, spin on it, is not all of it's good. Some of it can really get you down a black hole, because then you be competing for stuff that make no doggone sense. So that's my point of view. Anybody else want to jump in?
All right.
I'm gonna go opposite of you.
Really?
Yes, YouTube, we're doing that. All competition is good, and the reason why is because in society and in life, competition actually brings out the best in you.
Right.
Through centuries, history, competition makes people winners, and there has to be losers. And I'm sorry, like how people do participation trophies. I don't like that, because then therefore the standard drops in how you having to perform. If this kid goes and sacrifices 12 hours a day to run and do miles, while this kid over here sits up, eats Cheetos, and be lazy all day, you don't deserve a trophy because you didn't put in the work.
It was Twinkies, by the way, but continue.
But as I said, competition is healthy in the form because it brings out the best in you. It brings out that hidden beast that you need to find, and you will never find it until you have to reach the standards, i.e. Olympics or whatever, to prove it. You see what I'm saying? All competition is healthy.
I get that part. I get that part. I agree with that part wholeheartedly. I'm just saying that for the other viewers and the other people out here that just want to go extreme with competing with everything that don't make no sense.
Well, then let me speak to that. So, I don't mean to cut you off. So, my thing is, there's extremes on every point. Every human finds an extreme to talk about. And see, that's the problem. We have to stop being radicalists to a certain degree. Yes, there are extremes in life, but the extremes are the minimum. They're not the majority. You see what I'm saying? So why are you taking a small thing and making it a mountain out of a molehill? That doesn't make sense. But that's what I'm saying. You're creating the extreme by doing what you're doing. If you quit indulging or however you're operating, then that mountain will become a molehill. But see, people just go and fantasize over the biggest, the smallest thing to make it super giant. You know what I'm saying? Like, I overthink. I agree. I sometimes make a mountain out of a molehill. But that's overthinking. I don't go and competitively lose a game and be like, now I'm going to find you in real life. That's just the stupidest junk I've ever heard in my life.
So that goes back to your story, though, with the participation trophy.
Yes.
The people who actually do the work, they get obsessed with it and want to be like...
the best.
Yeah, and that makes them like...
Now, I agree. Sometimes they can put you can be the best, but do not discourage others while doing it. I agree 100% because
no.
Well, no. I don't. No. See, no. Now follow me, because my thing is this though. I'm not saying don't discourage them as in talk down to them. What I'm saying is, if they see you and how you perform, then that means that they gotta find that beast inside and then do the same output and the same sacrifices.
But what if that beast has lust, greed, envy?
Now, if it has, well, first, somebody envies to a certain degree. So envy isn't a bad thing if you keep it in check and regulation.
I don't know.
But
I
now,
don't keep it in that.
like lust and
Good point, bro.
I agree. Everything is good in moderation. Everyone knows that. Now, of course, you can't moderate everything. Because we're human beings, we get out of control. But if you can take competition and moderate it in a healthy way, and it starts here in your mind. If you don't be stupid and don't do dumb, you know what I'm saying, and do drugs, then you will be fine. I'm not saying I'm kidding you.
But
I'm
you
not
have
saying
those
everybody
people
does
that
it.
do that.
But you have those people.
That's true. But see, my thing is this though. That's what I'm saying. You do not have to go to the extreme left to do these things. You can still stay on the path that other people do. We might not all walk the same path, but we can all get to the same destination. Just learn a little bit of sacrifice, a little bit of delayed gratification, and then you will find the win, the trophy at the end. But my thing is, you can't go and sit here and be lazy and like him. You know what I'm talking? I love CJ, but my thing is like, but you can't tell me that, and you expect to get the same result. That's crazy to me. It's baffling because it's because we've done let in the ridiculousness in this place in this country. Like, no, if you do not put in the work, then you do not get.
But the only reason why people are feeling that way because they go off how they feel, their emotions.
See, that's the problem. You should never make a logical point in an emotional field ever. Because it can't correlate, it can't stand. If I'm speaking logically to you and you're feeling your emotions, I can speak correctly and you can still feel like I'm doing wrong. You see what I'm saying? But words have meanings. So if you go and look the words up for the meanings, then you'll understand what I'm saying. But see, you're too busy in your emotional realm. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then
That's what I'm saying.
Most people don't have that kind of drive, or they can't find it themselves. So how do they summon it?
And if you don't have that drive and you don't know how to summon it, then get with some people. Surround yourself with like-minded folks that might have the idea, that might want to grow in something. And then when you find those people, y'all can all bounce off each other and make each other better to some degree.
All right, then now let's switch gears.
Okay.
Competition and relationship.
Competition relationship is a ridiculous thing.
CJ,
Because
let's
you...
go.
I'm still trying to figure out how I just caught a stray. He just grabbed on my arm and like talking about folk been laying up being lazy and they gonna look at me like I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Come on,
He carried companies on his back.
Tell him.
So before I get into this, you said one more time. I'm sorry, I was so caught off by being touched.
I got you. Let's switch gears. Now, competition relationship.
Okay. Well, as Patchy Beard over here was saying before
I'll see you at the video. I got you.
competition in relationships, like competition with another like suitor, like is that
No,
what
just just competition in general.
like
With your lady?
Yeah, with your lady, spouse, whatever. Don't really matter. So let's just talk about competition in general. You can talk about marriage, relationships, don't matter. We go competition in who does more of this, who does this.
No.
But-
Okay, then no. There shouldn't be
Cook on.
a competition when it comes
It
to
should not be. So now explain why it shouldn't be.
Well, because if I'm over here counting how much I done did for the house, if I'm over here counting how much I've done for you,
Right.
Like, oh, I washed the dishes today, and I cleaned the carpet, and I made the bed, and I took the kids to school, and I did all this, and blah blah. What did you do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you not that's.
But we're not gonna be oblivious and say that doesn't exist.
I mean, I'm sure it does exist,
Yeah.
but I thought the question was, is it healthy?
Yeah,
It's not healthy.
that's good.
Yeah,
Right?
there shouldn't be competition. Like you shouldn't be comparing yourself to your partner every day.
Let me piggyback off of you, please. So
Go ahead, Patches.
I got you. So my thing is this.
Get
though.
your head in the frame.
My thing is this though. So, Now, what he was saying when Kaylin brought up that point, actually what that is belittling. That's not competition. Competition in a relationship would be more like helping each other to do better, i.e. health-wise, studying-wise, smarter-wise, getting in a book. You see what I'm saying? Stuff like the fundamentals that help create and make your foundation better together. That's belittling, saying, oh, I do more than you. Like, we all know
being petty.
it is, and we all know the roles between man and woman is different. So it's to say those things is kind of like stupid, because we know that we don't do the same things equally, and that's okay. It should be okay. We should learn how to be in a realm where if we don't do the same things, we're not gonna tear each other down about it. Now, if I want to compete with you to do better in health, then that's a great thing. If I want to compete with you in better studying so we can become smarter to get this back, then that's a great thing. Because you're gonna want more for each other and pour more into each other, and then want to basically help each other in their craft. That's fine in competition, but not in a healthy way of putting down.
Like Stanley said, he's a very competitive person. So if he's in a relationship and he starts with the competing to be studious or competing to be intelligent, do this, where does it end? Not saying that you would do it, but saying with someone who is extremely competitive, where does it end? Because he would continue to take that past being healthy, past being smarter, past being studious, and he would take it too far to the point where you're talking about where we don't do the same things equally. So how can you compete with someone who doesn't do the same things that you do?
So since you said that, for me, since I am like that, I have to frame it in a way of she's my friend. She's not really competition for me. I have to frame it right, so I won't go past that point of no return where I'm like, cause she doing this, I got it. Cause she doing this, I got it. Cause she doing this, I got it. Now, is that drive in there for me to like automatically be like that? For sure. But for me, I have to frame it a certain way to know, okay, once we get here, we still building together. I'm not trying to say, oh, because I did this, I'm better than you. No.
You know what I'm saying?
So, like, I have to play mind games with myself to frame it right, so I don't go to that.
So basically, it takes you within your mind to know we can do this, but we have to moderate and limit ourselves, because if we don't, it can get out of control. So then it starts with self. Yeah. So you have to have control.
Right.
Well, beyond that, he said, what about people who don't have that drive?
Yeah.
So it goes on the other hand, what about people who don't know that limit? You said you can frame it to where she's my friend. So while there's people who don't have the drive, there's also people who have too much of the drive and don't know how to frame it and keep it, like you said, like she's my friend and we're building together. Okay. That person constantly wants to strive to be better.
Me being married, with me and my husband, obviously I have 3 jobs. He has 1. I basically build my jobs around my kids. He just, he makes the dough and brings it in for us to have a roof over our heads. Right. But like, we've been married for 8 years now, but like I would say at least the first 6 years. It was always me and him were always competitive. And like, I would always, I cooked and cleaned, and I took care of the kids, put them to bed. So what did you do? I would feel that type of way because, like Matt, I put my life on all these kids, and you just over here just chillaxing and working. Okay, cool. But for me, I had to step back from that big picture and like say, we're not just 2 different people. Obviously we are, but we are a team. And I have to always repeat to myself, teamwork makes the dream work. Yes. We are not separate roommates or anything like that. We need to be together. So obviously we will divide the work. Like, hey, if I clean the bedroom, can you clean the kitchen?
Right.
Or like, hey, if I bathe the kids, can you get the dustbin?
Right.
Or like, hey, if I go put gas in the car, can you get the oil change? Yeah. So it took a lot of mental disciplining for myself because I was always about, well, I'm not your mother. You're gonna work with me or work against me, either one. But It's really hard.
Now,
I respect
now,
that.
do you see why I asked that? Because there are certain people like that out there in the world. So again, how do you answer?
Now my thing is, this is my answer because we spoke about this on the past cast and on past casts. Like when you are, you know, in a marriage, because that's what they are, they become one. As we said, and as I said on previous, you know, shows, husbands always reverence their wives and the laborious service that they do. And it's not just for him, it's for the family, because when she is doing the things that she's doing, you always, I'm so sorry, you always reverence her. You always give her appreciation, because even though it's not the same thing that you are doing or vice versa, you always give the, I see you, it's good. You know, affirmation, confirmation, saying, you know, you're doing enough, you're doing a lot.
See,
you know
someone
what I'm
will
saying?
ask for that though.
And
that's where, like, for me, like, I don't ask for that. But women, we go through a lot.
No, I respect that,
bearing
yes.
kids to
Ooh, boy.
sacrificing our time and being more than just a mom, a wife, but a superhero.
I respect that, and that's what I'm saying. He's supposed to create that space for you so you can be all that you can be. You feel me? I'm trying to work.
like the army.
No, yeah, I'm trying to answer, but like,
I got you.
can.
I got you.
My boy.
So like, I think what Jessica's really saying, like, the whole thing for me, especially though, is marriage is service, and you want to feel like that your partner is serving you well, and that you're serving your partner well, and y'all both are serving each other and making it easier,
Right.
so that your efforts feel appreciated and that his efforts feel appreciated. So at the end of the day, it's really service to one another.
Yes.
She might, you know, be doing all the heavy laden right now,
Yeah.
and he's just doing that, and then it may change that he's doing all the heavy laden, and then she's got the lighter load for a little while. So it's just that service of one another. Like, I see you. I appreciate all that you're doing. I thank you for getting them dressed. You know what I'm saying? So it's being mindful of, let's serve one another.
Absolutely.
And to go back and answer a question like how you stop that from going past the point of no return is the end goal. It's the end goal. It's like, I'm doing this so that once we get here, I ain't gotta do it no more, because now I'm reverting back into, man, let me serve my lady. For women, let me serve my husband, because that's what's gonna make it.
Cause I was actually gonna piggyback on what you said. I said, even if, cause remember we asked that question, if you don't have that drive in you, it's like, here, let me hold you real quick. Let me hold like the burden. That way, when you do find that drive, you can help me with it.
Yes.
But until then, here, I got you. We'll just put it on our shoulders and keep moving.
Yes.
Regardless if she got to drive or he got to drive, right?
Yes, I agree. But that's what I'm saying. Everyone, it's in everybody, because we're all built off this schematic. We all know this from the biblical days. And so you can find that person that can help bring it out of you. And if they can help bring it out of you, then that's an amazing thing, because everyone has it. You just gotta find it. And we found it on our own. You know, he found it on his own. She found it maybe in the marriage or on her own. You see what I'm saying? It's everybody finds it a different way. But as long as you get to it and you see it,
is that what matters?
It does, because once you find that thing, you will unlock so much more potential.
Yeah.
That you never knew that you had. You know what I'm saying? Because people, you don't know what you can do until you try.
Yeah.
And husband, that's why. And just like you answered, that's what I'm saying. Husbands always reverenced, always gave. You know.
You're supposed to, because their commandment for them is different than the commandment that we have for us.
Yes.
Right? So ours is, So
I did not know that.
So the Bible talks about husband, love your wives as Christ loved the church, right? So that means us to
die for it. To die for it.
Fully die everything for the woman that we love, right? For them, is women submit to your wives.
Submit to your husbands.
I'm sorry, thank you. Submit to your husbands. What's the rest of that verse? Crap.
Don't throw crap in the Bible. Come on.
I can't remember the rest of the verse.
Yeah, but we know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's wives submit to your husbands for I think it's the head, everything like I cannot remember that verse right now. I'm butchering it. I'm sorry. But
Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. Yeah.
but our commandments are different because God wired us different.
Yes.
So He wants us to serve them. And us serving them, it helps them submit. So it's less tension on both sides.
Well, to go with what you were saying, you were saying that that you have to turn it into like you're servicing your person, and so if we take that out of marriage to kind of hear how insane it is to be competitive about service, would be like me and you arguing about who work at the soup kitchen more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like why would I want to compete with you? Well, I was down at the Salvation Army on Saturday. Where the hell was you at? And you were like, I was at the soup kitchen helping so and so for 8 hours. And
true.
Do you hear how dumb of an argument?
I think
for me and you to compete
I
over
think
who's
that's
helping
on
who
the
more.
outrageous side that we were speaking on, the extremes, because there are extremes in life and they are the minimal, not the maximum. And people with loud voices, because people are sheep, so the loudest voices hurt the most, unfortunately. In
Did you just call me a sheep?
Not you, but people are sheep, so therefore the loudest voice that normally says the dumbest stuff gets heard the most.
I mean, honestly, like, arguing doesn't get anywhere.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I just sit and talk.
Yeah,
like a monotone or
Yeah.
like just at a calming tone, like, hey, what you did earlier, I appreciate that. I will do this for you, and you know, let's definitely be more of a team instead of like opposite.
You know what? That
I'm the
poses
opposite,
a question I want to ask. How long for you in your marriage did it take for y'all to stop fighting one another and start coming together? Like in that sense of the whole competitiveness.
So like when we first got married, we were just getting used to like all the responsibility as a marriage. I carry his name, you know, and he carries our family. And then it didn't really start hitting until like I had my son, and that's when like more responsibilities jumped on with everything else.
Right.
And it's like, well, I'm providing for this little bitty human. So he told me, he was like, just take a year off. We had talked about that for months, and we just honestly came into the middle with that. And trying to get to the point of the story, but what was your question?
So like, how long? If you time frame it, how long you think y'all stop competing against one another?
I would say a few years into the marriage. When my son turned 3, honestly, it took that long for us to actually come together. Yeah. Which was a good time frame for any kind of marriage, because especially when you're newlyweds and then you become a new parent. Yeah. It's a lot, and then communication is definitely one of the biggest keys, and trust, and just like having each other's backs. Yeah. Like when I had my daughter, my husband took off 6 weeks to help me. He took care of my son. I had my daughter, and that was like, I cried every night because that was just a pure blessing. And because I got the flu, but still had to breastfeed, take care of my daughter, and he had my son the entire time. And I was like, if he didn't do that for me, I would have never made it.
See, that's
what?
I think that's a
I
good,
ain't saying that's a beautiful way to end it. That's a beautiful way to end it right there.
That's a good ending right there. What you think, Kay? I think that's.
But I think that was wonderful.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Hey, work together, lock in. Y'all got this. Have your person's back. Husband, wife, partners, whatever you want to say it. Okay. This is Many Reasons. We out.
Yep.